them or anything like that. But we think that it could be something that our residents could benefit from. So, but to explain that program more, I want to introduce Emily Salvini. I said that right, correct?
Close enough.
Okay. And with Utility Service Partners. Let me turn this on for you. And then this green thing, is there a pointer? And you just arrow it out that way. Okay.
Got it. Thank you. All right. As Rex said, my name is Emily Zalfini. I represent a program called the National League of Cities Service Line Warranty Program. Of course, we are the only service line program that's actually endorsed by the NLC. Quick background, though, on the company that I work for. I do not work directly for the NLC. I work for a company called Utility Service Partners. So we administer this program. We've been in this business for about 16 years now. We've been working with the NLC since 2010, and actually both in 2013 as well as last year in 2018, we won the Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. So obviously that's something we're very, very proud of, and we're always trying to work as hard as we can to maintain some pretty high ethical standards within the program. But as he mentioned, what this program is designed to do is to try and address some of the public policy issues that are related to aging underground utility infrastructure, which is obviously starting to plague a lot of communities across the country. So we know that for the most part, communities are always doing everything you can to upgrade and maintain all sorts of public infrastructure, but on the homeowner side, there really just isn't much you can do. So that's really the reason why the NLC started looking at these programs, because they wanted to make sure that something like this would be available for every city across the country. So they went ahead, they did the research to hopefully make it easier for you all, and we were the company they chose to work with. So now what we do is we actually partner with the city. That's what allows us to make our voluntary program available for your residents. Then our goal, number one, is to try and help educate homeowners just on the fact that they're actually responsible for those water and sewer lines on their property. While at the same time, we offer the option of getting protection on those lines if they want it. So just for the portion where, the utility is not responsible, and unfortunately, homeowners' insurance policies usually do not cover, we try and bridge that gap. We do it with a turnkey approach, meaning we handle all the aspects of the program ourselves, from the marketing, billing, claims, customer service, all of that. And it costs the city nothing to participate. In fact, we actually offer a small incremental revenue based on participation. So for me personally, one of the things that I find to be most beneficial about this program is it really does sort of help to raise awareness. There's usually a pretty similar story in most areas, and if a homeowner does have an issue with their water or sewer line, they call the city, you send somebody out, and a lot of the time you find the issues on their side, and you can't really do much to help them in that case. We also find, and I'm sure a lot of you are well aware, that a lot of homeowners don't really know or don't really understand that they're actually responsible for those lines. And I always admit to everyone that I kind of fell into that category myself. So prior to working for this company, I had owned my home for about 10 years, and I did have an idea that I was responsible for the lines, but I did not know which portion. Never would have guessed that it went under the sidewalk or public street, and honestly, I thought my homeowner's insurance policy would cover it. So I can only imagine if I had found out because I had a major issue. Then you have to find some contractors, maybe do some research, obviously pay for everything out of pocket. So I kind of like to think of the program almost like a free public awareness campaign for the city, because what we'd be doing is sending out a letter to each resident, just letting them know which part of their line they're responsible for, and then letting them know that the city's working with us to help make an option available for them if they want it. Of course, those people who decide to enroll, we'd offer them a little peace of mind. Essentially, for a few dollars a month, they would be transferring the risk of their lines to us. Then if they were to have any issue, whether it's a broken, cracked, leaky pipe, tree root penetration, clog that needs to be cleared, whatever it might be, they just give us a call. We have US-based call centers. They're available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And we work with local area contractors for repairs. No matter what, we do go through our own vetting procedures. So that would include making sure that they have the proper amount of insurance, that they are licensed, bonded, they have no open complaints with the BBB, and we check to make sure that they have access to the proper equipment. We also go as far as running background checks and drug screenings. So we really just try to do everything we can from our side to hopefully make sure the homeowner should feel comfortable having the contractors we work with come to, or maybe inside their home, depending on what their situation is exactly. And then as for the contractors, they do not pay us a fee or anything like that to join our network. And we do not tell them what they can charge. They are still able to charge standard rates. So then as far as the homeowners would be concerned, they would have 3 completely separate, completely voluntary options for protection. So there's one for the external water line, one for the external sewer line, and the third is for in-home plumbing. The 2 external options, they're set up identically as far as how they work. So if a homeowner was enrolled into either one of those, they would have up to $8,500 of protection per incident with no service fees, no deductibles, no annual or lifetime limits, and we do not limit the number of claims that they can file in a calendar year. The third option, which is in-home plumbing, just picks up where those 2 leave off, and for that we offer up to $3,000 per incident. So that would be for any water, sewer, or drain line inside the home after the point of entry. It does include a line that might be embedded under a slab or a basement floor, as well as something simple like a clogged toilet. Again, no service fees, no deductibles, no annual or lifetime limits. When this was put together, they really just decided they didn't want, a $75 service fee to stop somebody from getting their issue taken care of. And we do obviously notice that people tend to be a lot more proactive when they don't have to worry about searching around for a contractor, maybe getting multiple quotes or paying a ton out of pocket. I should make it clear this is not a reimbursement program. So if a homeowner enrolls and they have the protection, they call into our call center. We will get them in touch with a contractor, ideally within the hour, at maximum within 4 hours. And then we send the contractor out. Ideally, again, we like to have the contractor on site within 24 hours to make the repair, and we pay the contractors directly. So usually no money exchanges hands between the homeowner and the contractor. One of the other features of this program that I sort of mentioned in the beginning is the incremental revenue that we offer. The way that works is we offer our municipal partners 50 cents per month per paid warranty contract. So basically, if one homeowner enrolled into all 3 options, the city's eligible for $1.50 a month. We do generally pay that out once a year in the form of a royalty in January. And when our partners decide to take it, they usually put it back towards the community in one way or another, whether it's, a fund to help offset the cost of a high water bill or updates or, repairs to public infrastructure, whatever it might be. You do, though, also have the option of turning it down. If you turn the revenue down, we just pass those savings to the homeowners who enroll by lowering the cost of their protection by that 50 cents per month. So one of the big questions I always sort of anticipate with this, because it's really the meat of the partnership or the agreement between my company and the city, is how do we market the program? So we really only market by direct mail. There's no door-to-door, no telemarketing. We try not to bombard people with a ton of mail. We have a maximum of 3 mail campaigns each year. Each of those campaigns has 2 separate mailings. So an initial letter goes out, and then 2 to 4 weeks later, an almost identical reminder letter goes out. We try and keep the letters to be formatted as educational or as informational as we can. Again, they just start off letting the homeowner know which part of their line they are actually responsible for, and then letting them know that we're working with their city just to help introduce a program for them if they want it. We make it very clear that it is optional, it is not mandatory, and we make it very clear that it's coming from an outside company and not from the city itself. So we direct them to contact us with any questions or interest in the program. So the thing that triggers the availability is the first mailing. Once that first mailing goes out, homeowners are able to enroll into any combination of the 3 options they would choose at any point throughout the year. They can do it in one of 3 ways. So they can either send in the enrollment form on the letter. Usually that only gives them 1 or 2 of the options because we don't want it to be too confusing. But we do also have all 3 options available via website or our call center as well. But what we ask of from the city in the partnership is really 2 things. So first, we do ask for the use of city logo on marketing material. It is part of what helps us to get people to actually open the letter and read it, whereas just our logo, more likely to end up in the trash because no one's ever seen it before. But because people open it up and read it and actually take note of the messaging, that helps us with our response rates, of course, which also helps us, have the best amount of protection we can at the lowest pricing we can. It also helps us to build a stronger local area contractor network because the more jobs we can offer them, the more people want to work with us. But because we ask for the use of the city logo, the second thing that we ask of from you is for your review and approval of that marketing material before each campaign. So we would email everything over, give you some time to look it over. If you had any issues with the messaging, we will work with you on it. Once we receive the city's approval, we give you an exact mail date, so you know right around the time the homeowners will get the information in the mail. And then if for any reason we don't get approval from the city, and this goes for each campaign, we don't mail anything. And that has a lot to do with, of course, our partnership with the NLC, but also just kind of the ethical standards of the company. We like to make sure that we always have the city's best interests and your residents' best interests at heart. And we think we maintain that just by keeping a pretty high level of transparency within the program. So if at any point you needed information as far as how many people have enrolled, claims have been filed, contractors we work with, customer service satisfaction surveys, whatever it might be, we can always provide that for you. We are also working on setting up what we call an online partner portal for each of our cities. So you can just go right online and take a look at that information anytime you'd like. So as of today, we have over 650 municipal partners across the country. That includes 41 currently in Texas. And I apologize, the inserts in your folder say 39. It was an old PowerPoint presentation that I had printed last minute and didn't notice. So my apologies for that information. But I know that was quite a bit of information to go over. I appreciate all of you listening to me patiently. Did anyone have any questions or thoughts on the program?
Let me ask you a first question here.
Yes.
You say 8,500 is for annually, right? For what, or one incident?
One incident, yes.
And how do we warranty for some, because our Haltom City, we have a lot of senior citizens. After they pay like $8,500, I mean, you pay for $8,500, right? And they have no, how do the people make the difference?
Well, so it's pretty rare for anyone for each incident to have to pay more than $8,500. But if, for that one incident, if it did go over $8,500, the homeowner would be responsible for the remaining amount, which $8,500 is still a pretty big help in my opinion. But that is a per incident limit. So if they had, let's say, 3 incidents over the year, we would pay up to $8,500 each time.
And your NLC only work with the homeowner, not the commercial, right?
Right. We would just be working with a homeowner at this point. They've looked at commercial, but it's really hard to gauge and keep everything under one price.
Council Van Zandt, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. So I understand you said you would send the contractor out. So it has to be someone who's approved by you for your company?
Correct, yes. We have pretty strict vetting procedures for our contractors. So it would have to be a contractor that was approved by us. However, the city, is able to help with that or have a say in that. If there was a contractor that you don't want us to work with, we won't.
Okay. So you're familiar then with Haltom City contractors, or would it be one from Fort Worth or Dallas?
So we would try to get contractors within Haltom City. At this point, I won't say that we're necessarily familiar with them. Usually what happens is if the city decides to work with us, as soon as we get the contract in from you saying that we can use the city logo essentially, then we'll start searching for contractors in the area.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Council Weiss.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Emily. Good presentation. Started looking at pricing structure because I was looking at your Exhibit
Yes.
A. I'm noticing only one pricing structure. Is there, well, I got 2, so I'm going to use the highest one. So you're looking at about, we're guessing right around $280 for the
Yes.
year. Some of our seniors as well as some of our low income families may not be able to afford that. Are y'all looking at potentially doing some type of discount for those, or is it just this is their pricing structure and that's what we got?
At this point, this is the pricing structure we're able to offer. But we do have if the city decided to turn down the revenue, then it doesn't make a huge difference, but it goes down about $20 a year.
Okay. Thank you.
Council Susan Saul.
Hi, thank you, Mayor. My question's regarding the price of this as well. And would that be spread out over monthly payments
It can
throughout
be.
the year then?
Yeah, people have the option of paying month to month. They can pay semi-annually, annually. I should mention, even if someone pays a full year of premiums, and let's say they don't use the protection and decide to disenroll 6 months in for whatever reason, we would reimburse them for unused months.
My other question is, if I damaged my own pipes, is that still covered?
It
If I'm
would not be,
digging a hole to
unfortunately.
plant a tree, or if I have someone,
Yeah, unfortunately, that is one thing that would be left out. It's considered third-party negligence, so that would not be covered.
okay.
This is for the most part, designed for normal wear and tear of lines. So
Okay.
tree roots are a very common one, leaks that were just kind of caused over time, things like that.
All right, thank you.
You know, in Haltom City, we have a lot of homes like 100 years old, AD, and do you have any limitation for like we insure up to 80 years old home or 70 or no timeline at all?
We don't have any real limitation. There's no inspection or anything like that. The only thing that we do is we would ask at the time of enrollment if the lines are in good working order. As long as they say yes, they're able to enroll, and then there is a 30-day waiting period for a claim. And obviously that's just, believe it or not, kind of new. We've only had it for about 2.5 years, but it's to safeguard us over, false claims.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, you have any more questions? And appreciate that. Myself, personally, I feel like this is a pretty good program, and like our staff recommend you here, and we met you at the TML, right?
Yes.
And I hope our city will, hope your NLC will help the homeowner in Haltom City, because we have a lot of old structure and need help a lot. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. If anyone comes up with any other questions, feel free to contact me. My contact info is on that PowerPoint in there. And that is up to date, so thank you again.
Thank you. The next one will be the Broadway grant proposal. Mr. Pruitt.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Got a quick little proposal here for you. I believe I've mentioned it to you that we are looking, as you're well aware, we've done the 10-year master plan for Broadway, well, actually for all of the park system. Broadway Park, one of the major things that we talked about, one of the major items that was on the top of that list from the needs of our residents is water. We want pools, we want splash pads. I don't see us getting a pool anytime soon, and I would rather not manage one, but we love splash pads. The one at Broadway Park is one of the very first splash pads that was ever designed and ever installed in the state of Texas. It is way out of date. It does not recycle water. We would like to start conserving that water, reusing that water, recycling it. So what we are looking at is working with Texas Parks and Wildlife to apply for a grant. We are working with MHS Planning, who did our master plan. They typically are a slam dunk when it comes to writing grants with Texas Parks and Wildlife. Probably 90 to 95% of our park projects have been done with grants with Texas Parks and Wildlife. So what you're looking at is a very, very rough conceptual design, but I did want to give y'all at least a picture to give you an idea. What we're looking at doing is renovating the existing splash pad, making that recycle water, and adding an additional pad that would have maybe some handicap accessibility properties and amenities on those splash pads. There would also be some new playground areas and amenities, a very large picnic pavilion, which we do lack a large size one in the city, a restroom, which we don't currently have nearby the splash pad, and then renovating the sport court there. We currently have a very old tennis court. We're looking to add some basketball features there, potentially some soccer, just making that multi-sport, and also renovate the tennis court. So with that being said, Texas Parks and Wildlife, thankfully we passed Proposition 5, so thanks to the Texas voters. That means that we are getting 100% of the funding for these sporting goods sales tax. So thanks to that. So this helps us get additional grant funds. Texas Parks and Wildlife raised the grant ceiling this year on the outdoor grants from $500,000 match to a $750,000 match. I like to spend money, but I'm also going to be really cautious and careful with it as well. But this project, to do it up and do it up right, to be a project we're very proud of, that will provide benefits and amenities in the city that we do not currently have, at really the hub of Parks and Rec there at the Rec Center. We're looking at a $500,000 to a $750,000 match. That would mean this project would be $1 million to $1.5 million with the Texas Parks and Wildlife grant match. With that, we can do everything we want to do there. we can basically check a lot of boxes on that Parks Master Plan. The first 4 or 5, I believe: outdoor basketball courts, more restroom facilities, more outdoor sporting areas, additional water areas and play areas, more picnic areas. So we're really ticking the boxes of what our residents have asked for in this grant proposal. Basically, what we're asking from you is another thing that Texas Parks and Wildlife has put into their grant procedure this year to garner more points is to get support from our city leaders, our city residents, city council. So I just wanted to bring this to you guys. If we are in support of that, I can draft a letter and have signatures on that. The Parks Board has already been given this information and has garnered their support for it. And we would just submit that with the grant package. So the grant deadline is December 4th. It's going to be here before we know it. It's sneaking up on us quick. The time frame, they will do notification of grant awards in May. It takes a long time to cull through all those grants. And then they will extend those contracts to the cities in June or July. So it is a long process. We would go one more season with these spray ground as it is, and then as soon as the season is over, we would be able to begin work on renovating that whole space if we receive the grant. So I am available for any questions. That's a lot of information.
Council. Ms. Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Pruitt, on the splash pads, I'll get out in a minute. Is there 3? Is that what I'm seeing there? Or is that all one? Is that considered one?
This is the existing one right here, and then
Okay.
this would be a secondary one that we may look at adding amenities maybe for older kids and younger kids to kind of separate those, because the teenagers like to get out there and play too, but sometimes as a mom, you may not want your toddler that's barely walking to be run down by all the teenagers having a good time. So it gives us a lot of opportunity to play with in these 2 separate areas. And again, this is a very, very rudimentary. We're just in the beginning phases. So it's just kind of an initial thought to get on paper.
Okay, and then over to the right, you have the tennis courts, and I see the basketball courts
Yes,
up
ma'am.
there. So we're going to be keeping the tennis courts and that?
Yes, initially we were looking to remove the tennis court, but we have people on that court every day. So we feel like that is the only tennis court in the city. We're going to go ahead and refurbish that, redo the surfacing, and replace all the nets and everything.
Okay, you do know that we had an opportunity to have that taken care of.
Yes, ma'am. And I have her contact info, and I'll be reaching out to her again.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate that, and I
course.
think that it's always good to keep a variety of activities for our community, because I'd rather see our kids, if it's being utilized, that's great, but even if it's not, at some point, kids become interested in other things.
Right.
So I would at least want one, if not anything, instead of just doing without. But
Yes,
I think
ma'am.
that's great.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And Mr. Hillier.
Yes. I'm on to the financial part of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the city match, if we were awarded the grant, is the city match part of it responsible to or expected to be done in this budget year?
It should be mostly done in this budget year. It depends on when everything's received. I have already set those funds aside and earmarked them out of the bond money to do this project.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be
that's-
any additional funding we would be asking for.
That's
So-
good. That was my other
Yes,
question,
ma'am.
that if we did have to do it, is it already in the budget and money's available?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
it is. Okay, great.
I
Thank
failed
you.
to mention that. Thank you.
Any more question? I know Mr. Hillier took the question from Ricky Brown, right? Okay. If you have no more, are you sure you don't want to have a question? Okay. Yeah. And thank you, Ms. Pruitt.
All right.
And I'm so excited to hear this project, and especially the rain from Texas Park.
Yes. Yes.
That's good.
Very
Up to
good.
750,000, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
At this time, we have no more work session items, so we will end up this. At this time, 6:30, we will enter the executive session based on the Chapter 551 of Texas Government Code on the Section 5510, .071 and 551.072, and we'll see everyone at 7 o'clock. Thank you. And more item is 551.074 personnel. Thank you. At this time, I call the regular meeting to order at 7:07. Next, I would like to ask Council Member Ricky Brown for evocation and bless of allegiance. Please stand.
Thank you for being here. May we bow our heads as we pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for being in our lives and guiding us. Thank you for the privilege to be able to gather and govern in a free and democratic society. On this Veterans Day, we give thanks to the women and men who continue to fight for this freedom every day. Father, please watch over every employee of this city as they go about their daily routines to make Haltom City the city that it is. Lastly, Father, guide this council as we work together and build a community that we can all be proud of. We ask this as your sons and daughters, confident in your goodness and love. Amen.
Black allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please be seated. Thank you, Council Brown. Next one, Mr. Secretary of the City, Camacho, will announcement and event of the city.
Thank you, Mayor. Meeting announcements for November 11th, 2019 in the public library. They have story times, Tinker Tuesdays, Imagination Station, teen programs, and other library activities. They're listed on the library's website for their dates and times, so please check the website. The other programs that are coming in are Family Night is a Thanksgiving puppet show and craft, which will be held Thursday, November 21st at 6:30 p.m. In community programs, the annual Thanksgiving holiday dinner will be Friday, November 15th at 12 noon, and this is at the Senior Center. Call and make a reservation to be with your city and county leaders and community volunteers as they serve a traditional Thanksgiving meal. The special guest speaker will be Judge Brent Carr, bringing a message of holiday blessings. Calvary Chapel will be partnering with Love Never Fails International and hosting Candy Cane Lane Christmas, a festival of giving on December 5th through the 7th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. In Parks and Rec, registration is opened up for youth basketball and Little Ballers. Cost for boys and girls ages 7 to 14 is $65, and cost for Little Ballers ages 4 to 6 is $45. Registration deadline is November 30th, and coaches are needed. For more information or to register, visit the city website, or you can stop by the Community Direct building. The Veterans Memorial Brick fundraiser is about to close. Your final chance to get a brick ends on November 15th. The order will be placed shortly after, and we anticipate the installation of the bricks to happen after the new year, and will hold a special ceremony to unveil the Walk of Freedom, where the engraved bricks will be placed. Special invitations will go out to anyone that ordered a brick, and you can visit www.bricksrus.com/donor site/Haltom City, or stop by the rec center to fill out an order form. The 4x8 bricks are $40, and the 8x8 bricks are $100. The Parks and Rec Department is very excited as the Haltom Road Park Playground project is close to being completed. We know that everyone is excited to test it out, but it is not ready, so please help us make sure that kids and animals stay off the playground and parking lot areas until they announce it open. We are tentatively planning a grand opening on Saturday, November 23rd, so stay tuned to the city website and the Facebook for the announcement. Haltom Strong is hosting the Blue Tassiwo Native American Bluebonnet Spreading event at Buffalo Ridge Park on Saturday, November 16th from 4 to 6 p.m. This is a free family event with games, crafts, entertainment, and more. Bluebonnet seeds will be spread in areas of the park to provide for a native garden effect and offer great safe spots for photo opportunities in the bluebonnets. Please save the date for the annual Christmas on Broadway event at the Rec Center on Saturday, December 7th from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. They'll have plenty of entertainment for the whole family, including carriage and train rides, a petting zoo, bounce houses, food trucks, school choirs, and a visit from Santa. Keep Haltom City Beautiful will be hosting the popular neighborhood decorating contest and wants to make sure you have your decorations out and the lights on no later than December 6th. Judging will be December 6th through the 13th, and winners will be announced by December 16th and recognized at a city council meeting in January. Categories include best use of lights, best theme, and judge's choice. 18 individual winners will be awarded a yard sign. Keep Haltom City Beautiful will also select the best decorated business in Haltom City. And if you want to make sure they don't miss your house, please be sure and register online through the city website. And that's your announcements. Yes, Christy Pruitt. Yes, she's going to do it now.
Thank you, Ms. Camacho. The next one will be a Park and Recreation Award presentation. Mr. Director of Park and Recreation, Christy Pruitt.
I'm back. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Very honored to share with you some amazing awards that the Parks and Recreation Department has received recently. We've been working very hard. We have a small staff, but we are mighty. And it's always amazing when our team gets recognized for the amazing work that they do. As you know, I believe last year we mentioned that TAF, the Texas Amateur Athletic Federation, it was the first year ever to receive the Gold Member City Award, and we have done it for the second year in a row. So we're very excited for that. That just shows that we are pouring into youth and adult sport programs in our community, and it is being recognized across the state of Texas. The next awards, we're very, very honored and humbled and excited to share about these. We nominated a couple of projects or people here within the city through another long name, Texas Recreation and Park Society, so TRAPS for short. I was in Frisco at the Omni Hotel at the Star. It was very cool Friday with my rec supervisor, Nika. And we were able to receive these awards on behalf of the city. So without further ado, I would like to proudly announce that Part-Time Employee of the Year went to Ellis Connor, our recreation attendant. So I want to tell you all a little bit about Ellis. He was one of the very first part-time employees I hired when I started here in Haltom City in March of 2007. So he has been with the city for almost 13 years as a part-time recreation attendant. That is incredible. If those of you that have been in business, someone to stay with you part-time for that long, he is beyond loyal. He has been through a lot at the rec center with us, working that front desk. His full-time job is a zookeeper with the Fort Worth Zoo, and he shares that knowledge and passion and love of animals with everyone that comes through the doors at the rec center. He is a true delight, a true joy to work with, and I would like to bring Ellis up here to present him with his award. Come on up, Ellis. You want to say something else? No? Okay. He's going to be shy. He's not ever for lack of words if you ever come visit him at the rec center. But we love our Ellis. The second award was nominated actually for the Excellence in Park Design, but ended up the TRAPS committee, the awards committee, received a record number of nominations this year in all the categories that they do awards in. This award was so special that they created a new award called the Committee's Choice Award. So for the first ever Committee's Choice Award, I forgot to share some pictures of Ellis, is going to the Veterans Memorial. So I do want to share a little bit about the Veterans Memorial. They did add this special award again because it just did not go unnoticed. As you know, Veterans Memorial was a labor of love that involved many city council members, board members, residents that had a passion to make this happen. Our police and fire departments, city management, city council, mayors, it just has been amazing. Public Works as well. Greg was instrumental in making that happen. Tonight we have here many of the employees with Fort Worth Civil Constructors. These guys were incredible, so we wanted them to share in this as well. We do have committee members here. You guys come on up as the mayor presents this award. We're very honored to have this award for the Texas Recreation and Park Society North Region.
Okay. Then I stand in front.
Come here, Jenny. You need to get in the front.
This is the
front. This is first step.
She's like, I'm in the front.
One, two, three. We'll get one more. One, two, smile. Three. Thank you.
Very good. Let's see it.
Touch it, see it.
Yes. We'll put it out here for everyone to see.
Thank you. Did you do anything?
Oh, yes. And we also have David Soriano, the extraordinaire, created this amazing video, and we thought we just saw it to be perfect fit since this is Veterans Day. He's created a video, kind of the creation of the memorial as it got developed and the different ceremonies and stuff we've had since there. So thank you, David.
Thank you. Good job. Next one we Rhea. I'm sorry.
Veterans come in all shapes and sizes, young, old, rich, poor, black and white, and nearly every category in between. They are men and women who served and still serve America. From defeating communism, fascism, and imperialism, to liberating slaves, keeping the peace during the Cold War, and battling terrorism today, veterans have accomplished remarkable things throughout our nation's history. Ladies and gentlemen, veterans have preserved the country that we all love so much. We need to remember the family members who briefly but anxiously dreaded every doorbell ring or telephone call as their loved ones witnessed unspeakable horrors while fighting in hard-to-pronounce villages that most Americans could never find on a map. We need to remember the modern military families who deal with frequent address changes, interrupted employment by spouses, and a disproportionate sharing of parental responsibilities. For what they do for us, military families should also be honored on Veterans Day.
Around the eastern edge of the star, there will be 5 4-foot-tall black granite pedestals, one for each branch of the military. At the north and south ends will be additional granite pedestals representing the Haltom City Police and fire departments. Beyond the arch, at the far west end of the memorial, will stand 3 flags: the Texas flag, the American flag, and the POW flag. Just as we all look to the west for the setting sun, we hope that looking west into the Haltom Memorial brings to mind those who have given their all, and for those whom the sun has set forever.
One more time, thank you. This is a beautiful historical landmark for Haltom City and the state of Texas. Okay, the next one will be Mr. Reckfell on Deacon Month for Anthony DeLeon.
Thank you. Anthony, why don't you come on up here and I'll read this proclamation to you. This proclamation is for the Distributive Education Clubs of America, or DECA, month. Whereas the Distributive Education Clubs of America, DECA, is a nationwide organization of over 3,500 high school chapters, 275 collegiate chapters, with 40 members in the local chapter at Haltom High School, and this group has existed at Haltom for nearly 50 years, benefiting not only the local community as well with their volunteer activities, such as hosting the Jingle Bell Fun Run that recently raised $1,000 for individual families at Christmas, but also donated funds to renovate the Haltom High courtyard in hopes that more students will engage with nature and refrain from technology and social media. And several former members of the Haltom High School DECA program have been successful in local businesses and have served on school boards, community organizations, and state and local politics. And the local DECA group has been competing in the state competitions and has now gone further in competing for the first time at the national level, and is now pursuing competition at the International Career Development Conference. And this organization, under the leadership of DECA President Anthony De Leon, desires to recognize November as Distributive Education Clubs of America Month, to inform the community of this group's desire to teach leadership skills, implement different ways to articulate oneself, help understand the concepts of marketing, entrepreneurship, finance, hospitality, and promote a positive learning structure and unleash the potential of Haltom High School students toward achieving their educational and career goals. Now, therefore, on behalf of our Mayor, Ann Trong, and Haltom City Council and city staff and its citizens, do hereby proclaim November as Distributive Education Clubs of America Month in Haltom City, and urge all citizens to support the efforts of our local DECA High School chapter. Now, to accept this, here is the local president, Anthony De Leon, and just an absolute fine young man and a great example, and we're so glad that you're here. Thank you. Anything you want to say?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to thank Mayor Trong and Secretary Camacho. Y'all's support has really helped our chapter grow and has given us a lot of recognition. I'm a junior now, and when I joined DECA my freshman year, I didn't even know what it was. And now the school knows what DECA is and what we stand for, and a lot of it is because of Haltom City. So I just want to say thank you for that. So.
Muchas gracias, señor De Leon.
Thank you.
Sí. Okay, now we go into a regular session. I just try to remind you the new law allow you to have the question on each item on agenda. And unless you choose to do at the beginning of the regular session, that means during the visitor forum, then you can speak again any agenda with no public hearing. But if you did not choose to do it at the beginning, you are now allowed to ask any question. You have not questioned any item. That's a new law. I should try once in a while to try to remind the citizen. Okay, the first item will be a minutes. And Mr. Camacho, you have anything? Council, you have any question or comment? If I see none, go ahead. This item ready for motion? Ms. Hillier?
Yes, I move that we accept the minutes as presented of October 28th.
Thank you, Ms. Hillier. And now we have Mr. Sol, Council.
Thank you, Mary. That would be for a second.
We got a second, and now please register your vote. With the absence of Walter Crowe, Council Member Plate 2, we have 6-0 unanimous approval. The next one will be item 2, TAT, resolution. This item was tabled from the last meeting. Now, this time, Council and citizens, do you have any question? Go ahead. If you have no question or comment, go ahead. This item ready for motion. Mr. Hillier.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution number R-2019-026-01, approving the change in procedure for voting for candidates to serve on the Board of Directors for the Tarrant Appraisal District.
Thank you, ma'am. And Ms. Council Thompson?
Mayor, that would be for a second.
You got the second. If you don't have any question or comment, go ahead, register your vote, please. Item number 2, unanimous, approved by council. And now we move to item number 3. Cancel, reschedule a regular scheduled council meeting. That's mean on December 23rd. We are ready for Christmas Day. So I would like to ask council to approve we not have a meeting on second meeting on December. At this time, Mr. Brent Weiss, go ahead, sir.
I think we should go ahead and just cancel it like we've done in the past. Just have the one meeting on December. We're going to already have one on December 9th, so that would be my recommendation. Do we need to do a motion on?
Yeah.
Yep.
You make a motion, right?
I can.
Yeah, make a motion to
Hang
cancel
on.
it.
Unless the staff, do you think you have any important thing to have second meeting?
And if we have to call a special meeting, we can always do that, but we don't see a need right now.
Okay, go ahead, make motion, Mr. Weiss.
Then I'll make a motion that we cancel the meeting, scheduled meeting of December 23rd, 2019.
Thank you, sir, and Council Salt.
Thank you, Mayor. That would be for a second.
Thank you. Please register your vote. Item number 3, unanimous, approved by Council 6-0. Number 4, resolution number R.2019.028.10. Mr. Pruitt, welcome.
Hello again. All right, this one is land conveyance. We're looking for a resolution. Friendly Lane Baptist Church has offered to convey land to the city to build a parking lot that is close to the Veterans Memorial. This is the aerial. This is the property we're looking at right here. This is their existing parking lot and the easement right here. We have worked with Public Works, has worked with Tignall and Perkins and done a survey for us. This is a proposed lot. Again, these are just proposed. It is not exact at this point. This is what we could potentially have there. That would provide us with 18 additional spaces. Of course, we are also maybe looking at doing more handicap spaces as well. You should have in your packet some of the documentation, but essentially we are looking to enter into a conveyance of land and also a special warranty deed with Friendly Lane Baptist Church. They're in agreement with everything here. What they would do is have usage of this parking lot as well for overflow parking for their church. And they wouldn't require any special permissions from the city to use that property. The city would also be maintaining this entrance to the parking lot because we would enter here from their furthest southernmost entrance to their parking lot. So we would be able to enter into our parking lot here. So we would maintain this area here. This is a shed we would move for them, and then it used to be a dumpster enclosure we would also remove. So just some minor things the city would do. So we are being neighborly in order to receive that land to put much needed parking for the Veterans Memorial. And I'm available for any questions.
Yeah, this morning I see a lot of people already use them.
Yes.
And I think this is a good idea, and thank you, the church, for doing this. By the way, Ms. Wee, go ahead, sir.
Thanks, Mayor. Chrissy, how many handicap spots are you looking at currently for the?
The initial drawing is not showing, but maybe 2 or 3. And again, this is rough. It was just based on surveying. That's where we want to go back to the drawing board. We feel like we can probably do better use of the space and add more handicap parking. That's really what the intention is for.
Yeah, that would be my thoughts. All right, thank you.
Yes.
But in case if you have handicap parking, do we need to make a ramp because handicap cannot roll over the curb, right?
Right.
We have to take care of that, everything, or the church have to do it?
We
have
would
to
take
do
care of all of that, yes.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And Ms. Thompson?
Just a question. What about the area, and not this, but in front of the memorial on Haltom Road?
So this area down here.
What's the plan for that?
We don't currently have a plan. We have looked at that space to be open so that we can hold concerts or events in that space up near the plaza. We're not on the plaza. If we were to do a July 4th celebration, for example, we would want space to have food trucks and a stage or different things down there as opposed to being actually on the plaza. It's a possibility to put it there as well, additional overflow parking, but the initial plan was to keep that open at this point.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions from council? If you don't have, thank you, Ms. Pruitt.
Thank you very much.
I think a good idea. Good job. And this item number 4 ready for motion. Ms. Council Weiss.
For item number 4, resolution R-2019-028-10, the conveyance of land, make a motion we approve.
Thank you, sir. And Council Helios.
Thank you, Mayor. That's for a second.
We got a second. If you have no comment or question, go ahead, register your vote, please. Item number 4, unanimous approved with the 6-0. Thank you. And now number 5, this will be a fee schedule amendment. Ms. Sidona Faust. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Smiling. You don't look happy today.
Just a little tired, but I
You
am
will have more
happy.
money.
I'm very happy.
Okay.
We did adopt the fee schedule during budget season, but due to the mobile hotspot program that we've added at the public library, we found a need to add 3 additional fees to that schedule. That would include a mobile hotspot device replacement at $100, a USB Type-C charging cable and AC adapter for $24, and a carry-in case for $10. So we're asking for your approval to add these 3 items to our fee schedule.
Council Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. The other 2 items, I realize the hotspot device replacement is replacement. Are these also replacements or additional needs that someone might have?
These would be replacements for the new program that they're implementing. Previously, we didn't have any cost recovery of those whatsoever in our fee
So
schedule.
if they were damaged or anything, they would be charged and we would get new replacement for
Correct.
someone else to utilize.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
May I show you a visual? It might be. Sure. I heard someone laughing. That might be might be.
Yes, ma'am. What is
I have
that?
to pay $100 for that.
What is that?
This is the hotspot unit.
Hotspot?
And those are for the case and for the battery charger. That's
What-
for the other 2.
Why don't you talk on speaker and state your name so people know you?
Leslie Smith, Director of the Haltom City Public Library, and I thought everyone could hear my voice without a microphone.
It's hotspot, right?
Yeah, yes. A visual is worth 1,000 words, right? A
Too
picture
hot.
is worth 1,000 words. Those would be for the replacement cost, those 3 items that you have in your hand, Susan.
How long does this last, for one charge?
I'm going to ask the person that knows everything
Okay,
about this. Erica, how long does a charge?
Because we have a lot of in market right now, pretty good. I hope you don't buy a cheap one.
Oh, no, we bought the best.
The best?
The best.
Okay.
Erica, can you answer the question, how long does the charge last?
18 hours?
8 to 10 hours.
Oh, that's pretty good. Thank you.
Yeah, or we think so. And
You
you
done?
can
Yes.
hook up to 10.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Leslie.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. And now item number 6, Mr. Bachelor. And, oh, I'm sorry. Would you sit down, please, ma'am? We didn't vote on this one yet. Okay, this item ready for motion. Mr. Weiss, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. For the fee schedule amendment, which is resolution R-2019-027-03, I make a motion we approve.
Thank you, Council Wee. And now, Council Thompson.
Mayor, that would be for a second.
Thank you. We got a second. Please register your vote. This item number 5, unanimous approve. Now we move to number 6, replat. And yes, ma'am, your turn. I can call your last name Bachelor, right?
Yes, sir.
Not like Greg, I can.
Greg Smith.
Yeah, Greg Smith. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This first item is a public hearing and consider action on the application of SPRI surveying for a replat of the property known as 5909, 5913, 5921, 25, 29, and 33 Midway Road. The applicant is creating 5 lots of record, the largest being combination of 5913 and 21 Midway, which is currently a church. The 3 lots, 5909, 25, and 29, will remain single family, and 5933 is a vacant lot. The Haltom City Assembly of God approached the city a few months ago, and upon determination, these were sold off by meets and bounds. So the local government code requires that they become legal lots of record, so that's why there's so many inclusive on here that it's not just the church property. So if we can look at the screen up here, these in yellow are the properties that are affected. This is the church, and they're wanting to break off one of these lots to sell the house that's on it. Again, here's the replat showing how they're dividing it up. This is facing north from Midway, to the east and west, and to the south. If you have any questions, I'm available, and the church's representative is here.
Council, you have any question? Council Proud.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Batchelor, I'm trying to look real quick. Send out notifications, how the notifications go.
We had one opposed, but they followed up with a phone call, and their concerns were eased once we talked to them.
Thank you.
Any more questions from council? I see none, so I go ahead and open the public hearing at 7:39. Anyone in audience would like to speak again or favor this item? I see none, so I close public hearing at 7:39 half. 7:39. Okay, this item ready for a motion. If you, council, you don't have any question. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Glenda, could I ask, does this require 2 hearings or just the one?
No, it's just a replat.
Okay.
Did you hit the button? I didn't see it. Thank you, ma'am. Any more questions? Mr. Brand, we go ahead, sir. Question or motion? Go ahead, sir.
I think I'm doing them all tonight, looks like. For number 6 replat for the addresses on Midway of 5909, 5913, 5921, 25, 29, and 33, make a motion that we approve the replats.
Thank you, sir. And now the second, Ms. Gay Van Zandt.
Yes, Mayor, that would be for a second.
Okay. And please register your vote if you have no question. Okay, item number 6, unanimous approved by the number 6-0. The next one, Ms. Bachelor again on preliminary plot. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. Y'all have heard the planned development for Our Country Homes across from the library. This is the next step in the process, which is the preliminary plat for the property as a whole. The applicant is going to create 412 single-family residential lots. And as I mentioned, the planned development came to y'all on March 11th of this year. On October 22nd, Planning and Zoning Commission recommended conditional approval of P00819 with the conditions include 3 items, and these can be addressed on the final plat, so we don't need to make them a condition of the preliminary plat at this time. So we can look at the screen up here. This is the property that's preliminary platted. There's an aerial showing the property again. This is how it will be laid out with the streets and the individual lots. This is that common area across from the library that the city will also have use of. And these are the different zones as far as what size units have to be in the different areas. These are the streets as far as the red ones I believe are alleyways, the gold ones are secondary streets, and the blue ones are the main thoroughfare streets. Here's the landscape plan. And these are typical elevation exteriors of what they will look like. This is facing north from Glenview, northeast corner of Glenview and Haltom Road, facing east from Haltom, southeast from Haltom and Spring Lake, facing south from Spring Lake, and facing southwest from Denton Highway and Spring Lake. If you have any questions, I'm available, and Mr. Pitstick is also here.
Councilor Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Batchelor, there were no objections or any opposing?
One in favor, one returned to sender. None opposed.
Okay. And to me, everything seems to be otherwise in line.
We're
as far
moving
as-
forward.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions from council? If you don't have, thank you, Ms. Batchelor. And at this time, I will open the public hearing at 7:44. Is any one in chamber would like to speak again or favor this item? Okay, I see none, so I go ahead, Chloe, at 7:44 and half. Okay, this item ready for motion. If you don't have question, Councilor Thompson, you have question? Go ahead.
Hold on, I have a question.
Oh.
Sorry. Hey, just real quickly, I would like on the final, those 3 conditions that they asked, I'd like some more information on them, because one of them, you could look at the numbers that are there and get the percentage real quick of what's common space. So I'd like to get some more information on those 3 conditions for the final.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Thompson.
Yes, I would like to go ahead and approve the preliminary plat on behalf of the Beaten Path LLC for the 412 lots in the Heritage Village subdivision containing approximately 42.05 acres of land, also known as 5100 Spring Lake Parkway.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. And Councilor Van Zandt.
Thank you. That is for a second.
We got a second. Please register your vote. Okay, item number 7, unanimous approved by 6-0. Now, do we have staff report, sir, Ms. Rick? No, sir. No, we don't have. Number 9, future agenda item. Council, you have anything to put on future agenda? I see none, so go ahead. The board and commission committee. 10, registration. Anyone resign or retire or something like this? We have none. How about appointment and reappointment? Do we have any? Well, everybody ready for Thanksgiving, right? Okay, thank you. We go to okay, at this time, we will, okay, go ahead, Mr. Brand Weiss, go ahead, sir.
Do we need to go ahead and go to 12 and excuse Walter Grove?
Yeah, we have to.
Okay, I'll make a motion to excuse Walter's absence tonight.
Okay. Okay, at this time, Council, we make a excuse for Council Crowe absent. Please register your vote. You second?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead, register your vote. Okay, unanimous approved for the absence of Council Crowe. Now, at this time, we go into executive session based on Texas Government Code 551 on the chapter 551.071, .072, and .074. At 747. we come back from executive session and come back here on regular session at 8:32, and we have no action from executive session. And right now, the meeting adjourned at 8:33. Thank you. Oh, man.